It's the time for a package from China. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the king of Android boxes, or better said as the GT King. But this is still the king in 2021. That's what we're going to talk about. Welcome to the Wicked Gamer Hand Collector. It's just awesome, I'm going to say it again, that you're tuning in. So this box has been released some time ago, and it was a very interesting box in my opinion. You can do so many great things with it, including putting it in a virtual pinball machine. But nowadays we're also having new options that can make this thing more like a really badass emulation retro game console. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Is this thing worth picking up in 2021, or is it time to move on and search for something else? And yeah, we can combine it with my favorite controller, the Xbox 360 one. So this box comes with the S922, a quad-core ARM Cortex A73 and a dual-core ARM Cortex A53 processor, and it was quite powerful for back in the day. But how is it today? Including an air remote that we're not going to use with the retro gaming system. Just wanted to point out that you're going to get one. It's more like a basic one, but I also really like it. The GT King was basically the nemesis of the Nvidia Shield back in the day, and in my opinion it was quite promising. And not even to start about the light up eyes inside the box, a very neat feature and possibility to play a lot of Android games. So at the side we're having two USB 3.0 ports and CF card slot that we're going to talk about later. Then we're having some other ports at the back, like an extra USB, so 3 in total, HDMI input for the power adapter. Then we have an Ethernet connection, optical out and a headphone jack out. So this bad boy has in total 3 USB connections. So if you want to plug it in and you want to make this thing an ultimate retro machine, you shall need to use an USB hub for 4-player configurations. And man, I love these eyes. It's so cool. So when booting up the Beelink GT King, we're going to get the basic menu that we're going to get with most of these boxes from this brand. But using this system in combined with an app, that is of course possible if you want to buy or download the emulator that is needed to make yourself an ultimate GT King emulation retro machine. But don't forget, Netflix is not compatible with the full HD and 4K resolutions. Sadly, even when you're going to look at the Netflix app, it's not even possible to download. You can sideload it, but again, it will not have the 1080p and 4K solution. The GT King was the king simply because it had a lot of good specifications back in the day, like installed 4GB of RAM. And combined with the ARM Cortex A53 and the ARM Cortex A73, it has quite a lot of power and it's get really hot over time. And it is capable of running a lot of Android games on a very high FPS and giving you a very good experience. But let's talk about the other side of the GT King, the retro emulation. How good is it in 2021? But let's talk about the emulation part, because with the Beelink GT King you can do some awesome things when it comes to Emuelec. There are quite some different tutorials out there how you need to use this software. Take consideration this is just free to use software. There are some companies out there who are using more like this same software modified in a Super Console X or something else. But in the end you can just make it yourself, put an SD card and you're ready to go. Plug it in. Of course, don't forget that you need to have the right firmware for it. It still needs a lot of configuration for getting it perfectly, but in the end you will have yourself a very awesome, badass Emuelec machine. You can use it with a controller. If you want to use the air remote, for example, you can do that. But yeah, you can navigate through the menu with your controller. If you configure your Emuelec, it will boot up straight into the software. And it's pretty cool. It takes a couple of seconds to boot up, so the boot sequence is quite fast. And when you're ready, you're done. And you can play and build yourself a retro emulation machine. And I think that's just really cool. It looks similar like the Raspberry Pi, but in the end you can configure and make your own badass machine with the GT King Pro, or the normal edition that we're having here in the video. And what I really like about it, that you not can only play more like the later on stuff, the old stuff like DOS, Atari, up to the Sega Dreamcast can be installed on this box in combination with Emuelec. And if you're done configuring with Emuelec, you can play some awesome, real cool retro games on your GT King Pro. So let's start off with PSP on the GT King. It doesn't even matter if you're going to load up the app or the PPSSPP from the store, or you're going to use it through RetroArch and download the core like this way. In the end, when you're looking at this, you need to do a lot of tweaking, especially with God of War Chains of Olympus, because this game was not running at all or not very well. But when you're looking at other games like Tekken 6, these games are playable, but with some tinkering with the settings, you can see that it runs decent, but it still has a lot of problems and stutters.
You win. Round 2. Fight.
But it was always depending what kind of PPSSPP version you're using, in combination which game you're playing or which level in this case. But if you can live without the PSP emulation on an Android box, I think the GT King can still be a king when it comes to making your own retro game system. Because yeah, I know the PSP runs basically like shit, but it is not all that bad when it comes to different systems like PlayStation 1. Nowadays we have a lot of options when it comes to this, but when you're looking at the full size of all the library of games you can play with it, PlayStation 1 doesn't run that bad. Alright. I hope you can hear it on the camera, but you can see that the game is very smooth. It runs like it should be. N64 is also a mixed bag when it comes to this emulation, but this is the same story basically with a Raspberry Pi 3, 4 or another handheld that I've seen before. So it's more like some games will run fine, some games will run like shit in my opinion.
Checkpoint.
So when I started talking about the emulation, I started quite negative simply because I wanted to highlight the stuff that is just wrong with this box when it comes to it and give you a clear image of what you can expect. So when looking at the 8-bit and 60-bit stuff, this will not be an issue whatsoever. Nowadays we have a lot of systems that can run the old stuff very well, but I just wanted to say that the GT King is also a very great box to play, and if you want to make yourself a retro game system, the old stuff will just run fine. So then we're having only one thing that we need to check out, and that is of course the Sega Dreamcast. So I'm a big fan of the Redream emulator for Android. It's a very good emulator that supports a lot of games, but in combination with this chipset it doesn't have the best performance, but what you can see over here, that it runs the games pretty damn good. So is the GT King really the king in 2021? No, it is not really. But I just wanted to highlight this box because it's still pretty cool in 2021. If you can maybe pick it up for not a lot of money, this can be a very cool box to use it for an Emuelec retro game console that you can make for yourself or put in your arcade machine, for example. So what you can see that a lot of games are still running very good, like Sega Dreamcast don't even start with the Dolphin emulator to run GameCube and Wii games. Maybe 1 or maybe 2 games will run, but it is not a very good idea. The same goes for Sega Saturn. This is just what we're going to get with the GT King, and PSP was also a big problem. Okay guys, so this is what you're going to get with the GT King 2021. Let me know in the comments, did you ever bought something like the GT King and what do you think of it? I want to thank you for watching, consider subscribing, hit the little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.